Live Challenge has been hosted for the past 3 years in New York, and now it's come here. And Play Live Challenge is based on Magnus's app, Play Magnus. Over the course of the last year, the players that you'll meet tonight have been battling it out on the app, trying to win points to have the highest rank to meet Magnus in person. And we have people from all over the world, from as far away as Singapore, that have flown into this event to play here tonight. I want to thank our sponsors, Die Zeit, as well as the Atlantic Hotel, East Clar, ChessBase, and chess.com, who will be also showing the moves tonight. And I want to introduce someone very special to us at the Play Magnus team. He is a chess commentator, an IM, and an author, Mr. Lawrence Trent.
I've now got 2 mics. Now, that's going to upset a few people. 1 was probably enough for you guys. I'll put this down for the moment, because I believe you can hear me. That's brilliant. Welcome, very warm welcome, actually, to everybody here live in Hamburg, and of course, everybody online watching this fantastic event, the Play Live Challenge 2017, the 3rd Play Live Challenge. We're from the Atlantic Hotel here in Hamburg. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be your host for the evening. I'm going to keep it very light and fluffy for all of you guys. I'm going to talk some chess, talk a bit about the whole event, and we're really here to embrace the game and really show our love for the game. So I'm really, really glad to be here. I'm sure you are too. So before we actually kick things off, I'm going to talk a bit about the house rules of the evening, exactly how things are going to go down. I'm going to shortly introduce all of the very lucky participants who have managed to qualify for tonight's event. But before that, a bit about how it all works. So, each player will have 30 minutes to complete their game, but Magnus, when he comes, will have 30 minutes to complete all of the games. So it is a race against the clock for Magnus. And he will have the white pieces because he's not good enough clearly already, so we've got to give him another advantage. So we're going to give him the white pieces in all the games, and we're going to see if he manages to beat the clock. That is the big challenge for him. Now, we've got a number of very talented players here, players, as Kate mentioned, from all over the world, all different backgrounds, and it's going to be a real spectacle. Really looking forward to it. And what I'll be doing is during the games, I will be commentating on the moves. I'll keep it as understandable and digestible for everybody as possible. I won't go too much into the analysis, firstly because, well, who am I to commentate on Magnus's games for a start, right? I mean, the cheek. After all the games are over, what we will do is we will have a little one-on-one session, so all of the players will have a chance to actually talk about their game with Magnus. Of course, this is a very special opportunity for them, so a bit of one-on-one coaching would be nice, and that's how we'll then wrap up the event. So 30 minutes each, the hour's going to go very quick, and I think now would be a great time to introduce the players. Now, we're going to introduce them, I believe. Here they come. We're going to get them up on stage. Let's give them a big round of applause for coming here. Tonight's gonna be good track. Well done, sir, in the back. All right, so a very quick introduction of our contestants tonight. We're gonna start over here. I think a big round of applause, and forgive me for the pronunciations. We've got names from all over the world. So, Rolf Bjarne Finger. Now, Rolf is an avid chess player. Bit of an addict, if I, can say that correctly. Always on the app, and really rekindled his love for chess and is here tonight, qualified, and he's going to do a really good job. Next, we've got the very young and talented German player, Denny Lawrence. Now, Denny, we were at dinner before. Denny is going to put up quite a fight. He has analyzed all of Magnus's games prior to this event. He's got out the database, he's got out the computer, he is ready, he's not taking this lightly. So I expect big things from Denny. I think he's going to give Magnus a run for his money. Next, we've got Corine Naber from Netherlands. Now, a little funny story about Corine. We were speaking about this at dinner as well. Corine's mother is in the audience as well, I believe, somewhere. She's watching. Now, Corine, as mums do, normally go shopping, buy some stuff. Now, Corine's got some brothers who also play chess. And one day her brothers were at the chess club, and Corine was supposed to go shopping with her mum and said, you know what, forget that. I'm not interested in the lettuce tonight. I'm going to go and hang out with my brothers and play some chess. And lo and behold, the next thing you know, she's here playing the world champion. So who would have thought it, hey? How life works out. Big round of applause for Corine. Next, we've got somebody who's got a fantastic name, Mr. Lawrence Cho from Singapore. Now, Lawrence also spoke to me at dinner and said something that quite worried me. He says he eats, sleeps, and breathes chess, which sounds like my kind of guy. I think we'll be going out after, so we'll see how Lawrence does tonight. Round of applause for him. Now, next we've got a very special participant, one of our youngest participants, Arthur Kruger from Germany. Now, a lot of young guys here. Arthur is 9 years old, a very avid chess fan, and is extremely excited about playing the world champion. This is one of your big moments, so good luck, Arthur, tonight. Now, I mentioned in the introduction that we've got players from all kinds of places and backgrounds, different professions. Well, we've even got a politician tonight, Mr. Erlen Viborg. Now, Erland is actually the leader of the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Affairs from Norway, Magnus's home country. So I think, as we say in the world of markets and trading, he's got a bit of leverage over Magnus tonight. I'd be a bit worried about Magnus, might make things difficult for him in the future. Well, he has been in government since 2013, and when we've got a fantastic story with Erland, he told me at dinner that he was in a traffic jam at some point, and going 2-3 kilometers an hour, and thought, oh goodness, you're sitting there in your car, traffic jam. He thought, I'll play some Magnus, play Magnus. Why not? Accidentally bumped into another car. I believe the damage wasn't that bad, and I also believe that I can't get sued for just saying that. So big congratulations to Erland for being here tonight. Another very young participant here, Mr. Nikolai Nitsch from Germany. Now, Nikolai is a very, very special guest. He is the reigning under-8 German champion and finished 6th in the last under-10 championship, and has got a very bright future ahead of him, trained by some very famous grandmasters, including Grandmaster Artur Yusupov, and his father actually wrote one of the most successful German chess computers of all time, Mephisto. So a guy who's part of a big chess tradition in his family. So welcome, Nikolai. Next, we've got Annemarie Obenar from Austria. I tried to sound as enthusiastic as possible being in Germany. Oh, we won't go there. Okay. Anna-Marie is 32 years old. She's a psychology student. She's she's also a mother to a very young girl, 22 months old. And her story with chess is really funny, actually. A few years ago, she was taught the game of chess by a friend, as you do. And when she went to go and play the game after being taught the moves, her opponent was a bit befuddled. What are you doing? Well, she'd actually been taught the wrong moves and the wrong rules. So this prompted her a few years later when she got her first smartphone, which I believe was only last year, to download the Play Magnus app. And since then, I can confirm she is addicted to the game, waking up with it in the morning and going to bed with it at night, practicing, and that's why she's here today. So well done, Anne-Marie, and good luck today. Now, some of you in the crowd won't need me to introduce this next contestant because very well known in Germany and around the world, and if you love football and things associated with Werder Bremen, we've got Mr. Marco Bode here. Marco, as many of you will know, is a superstar, winning the European Championship in 1996 with Germany, and is currently the chairman of the board at Werder Bremen and a big chess fan, and is going to give Magnus a good run for his money. And he's, quite a big guy. So if I were Magnus, I would be a bit wary. But Marco, good luck today. Okay, next we have Mr. Lucas Varga. Lucas is a big chess fan, always on the app, loves chess, and is just over the moon to be here, and he's going to give it a real good go today. So congratulations, Lucas, for qualifying today. Next, we've got Mr. Paul von Mühlendal. Now, excuse me for the pronunciation. I think that's right. Paul von Mühlendal, okay. Paul, you are from Hamburg, a local Hamburger. Really excited to be here. Again, going to give Magnus a real run for his money. Next up, we've got Jakob Weihrauch. How's my German? Was that bad? I think that was okay. Okay, Jakob is here. He is one of our youngest contestants again, 12 years old, but one of the highest rated contestants. Very talented player. We're not going to say what his rating is because Magnus might complain, but it's definitely going to give Magnus a good game today. So well done, Jakob, for being here. And last but not least, we've got Mr. Andre Söderman. We tried doing that at dinner. Söderman, we'll go with that. From Magnus's native country of Norway. And Arthur, well, he is born in Bergen, which is not Magnus's city, is married, is an engineer for Aker Solutions, and was introduced to chess by, his dad, as many of us were. And as soon as the chess explosion took place in Norway, got back into it, and lo and behold, he's here tonight. His wife will be happy, though, I can tell you that, because whenever they're at home, some kind of football or sport is on the TV, and for the first time in a long time, she's going to have control and not have to worry about that. So, welcome, Arthur. Okay, with everybody now presented, I guess it's time to introduce the man of the moment. He is by far the most influential figure in chess, not just now, but arguably of all time, making chess cool again, getting it to the mainstream, collaborating with so many different incredible companies, making it the sport it deserves to be. He's the current world champion. He is the highest rated player of all time. For many, he is the greatest player of all time. Certainly for me, he's the greatest player of all time. And he's here tonight with us in Hamburg. Grandmaster, World Champion Magnus Carlsen. Just a couple of questions, okay? Now, Magnus and I have got a bit of a history, in a professional sense. I was there when Magnus qualified to play the World Championship match in 2013 at the Candidates in London, and I had the honor of hosting the event and being the lead commentator when Magnus became World Champion in 2013 in Chennai. Actually, 4 years today, I believe, was the first match I was informed before this. 4 years, November 1st. Is that right?
Yeah, I think well, November 9th.
November 9th, I beg your pardon. November.
Yes.
Try and get to it.
Yeah, it's memorable in a historic sense. The game in itself was a boring draw, but nobody remembers that, I hope.
I remember it, and I was, oh, all right, quick draw, that sounds great. Today, though, Magnus, bit of a different event. Not your first time. This is the third Play Live Challenge. So far, Magnus's record in the Play Live Challenge is, what's your record?
I don't know, you tell me.
It's 100%. 36 wins. 36 wins, no draws, no losses. But I think tonight, Magnus is going to have a bit of a difficult task. A few more players this year, 13. What are your expectations for tonight, looking at your lineup?
It's always very interesting. I expect various strategies of various strengths, and I'm hoping for some interesting challenges and some long games. And I wish all the best to everybody. Use your time and believe in yourselves.
Absolutely. All right. Well, unless there's anything else at the moment, I think we're going to be good to go. Remember, the format is Magnus has got 30 minutes, has to jump around all the boards. Each player has got 30 minutes. So will Magnus be able to beat the clock? Who is going to give him the longest game? We're going to talk about strategies throughout, and the games are going to be right there. So when I'm commentating, I will pick certain games. Keep your eyes on those. And I think we're ready to go. So off we go. So we're going to start over here with Rolf. Handshake. Round of applause again. And let's go. The clock has started. Okay. Now I can do what I do best, or do worse, depending on how you look at it, and actually look at some chess with you guys. How many of you are avid chess players in the crowd? Let's see that, right? Yeah, we got one guy only? That's strange for a chess event. How many of you guys play on the Play Magnus app? Oh, we've got the Play Magnus team, that was good. Anybody else? Yeah, just the same guy, the same avid guy, just loves chess, only guy. Well, if you haven't got the Play Magnus app, ladies and gentlemen, you're at the Play Live event, which is part of the Play Magnus project. Yeah, so go and get it, download it. Available in Android and on iPhone, iOS. And I believe, I'm going to get out the way so I can see some moves. Magnus, as you can see playing white here, he's gone for a whole bunch of different openings. From one e4 to one pawn to d4 to one pawn to c4. Anybody know what the move 1 to c4 is when you move the pawn at the start? Who knows the name of that opening? Anybody? Any of the youngsters in the crowd? English? Yes, I am. Oh, the opening, yes. It's called the English, named after, well, actually, nobody really knows. A lot of old English grandmasters managed to coin openings. I don't know how that came about. There are openings such as the orangutan, the toilet, the two knights tango, just about anything really. Magnus doesn't yet have his own opening, I believe. He can confirm that. Maybe I'm going to interrupt him just for the first time. You don't have your own opening yet, do you?
It's debated.
It's debated.
Yes.
What I'm going to do...
There's a certain line in the Ruy Lopez that has once been named after me, but it hasn't, catched on.
Interesting. So apparently a certain line in the Ruy Lopez. Does anybody know what the Ruy Lopez in the crowd here? Another name for the Ruy Lopez, one of the most famous openings in chess. Anybody? The Spanish. Well done, sir. Now, are we going to get a Spanish? Well, actually, here we go. If we look at the game in the first board, Magnus Carlsen versus Rolf Werner Kfinger, that is the Spanish opening when you put your bishop out to the b5 square on move 3. Played for over 500 years, stood the test of time. And Rolf is very serious here, playing one of the main lines. And so far, I have to say, guys, I'm very, very impressed. We have got proper chess going on here tonight. All very mainstream, main openings. We can see in the game with Denny Lawrence, for example, we've got a very nice Queen's Gambit declined. Well-known solid opening by Denny on board 2. On board 3, I love what Quirine is doing. I love this. She's playing my favorite opening. Anybody knows what Quirine has played in her game? Come on, where are you hackers in the crowd? Where are you aggressive guys? One of the youngsters here. What opening has Quirine played? Quirine Nab on board 3. Anybody know? No? It's called the King's Indian defense. King's Indian. What black does, if you can look at the board in the middle at the top, black allows white to get a big, big pawn center, and then says, well, you can have the center, and I'm going to start attacking it from the side and expose what you've done in the center. Love it. Love the opening. Now, we've got a bit of a funky opening here by Magnus against Lawrence Theo. He has actually played, I don't know what that is. Maybe this one can be called the Magnus. Some kind of King's Indian attack hybrid, something like that. We've got also a very, very well-known opening in the Carlsen versus Kruger game here. This is it's a very famous semi-Tarrasch, or Tarrasch actually, it's a full Tarrasch.
Oh.
He took on d5 with the pawn. Once played with great success by, somebody we might have all heard of, Mr. Garry Kasparov. Garry Kasparov used to play this opening a lot, very much. And in the rest of the games, I'm just so impressed by what we're seeing here. We've got a mainline French in the Carlsen-Nietzsche game. Marco Bode is playing chess like he used to play football. And I think I'll stop there. Solid as a rock. Look at that. That is German engineering at its finest. Look at that. Look at those pawns there that Marco has erected. He's basically saying, you've got no chance of breaking through in 30 minutes, buddy. And look at this, Lucas Varga. We've got another main line. I'm just actually gobsmacked here. Magnus has got genuinely 13 serious games. We'll really see if he's going to be put to the test. Now, remember, he's having to go to each of the boards. He's looking for when it's his move. He has to kind of take note when the clock is ticking. Only 30 minutes to complete 13 games. Are we going to see for the first time somebody get a result against Magnus? I think we should have a little mention, of course, of the people making this happen today. So, of course, I mentioned we're in the wonderful Atlantic Kempinski here in Hamburg. A big, big shout out to Die Zeit, one of the principal partners here, and to ChessBase, who is making the broadcast happen, as well as Iskar Water and chess.com, who are also broadcasting. Remember, this is a live event being broadcast on various platforms online. So we're going to have a huge audience watching this great spectacle tonight. And I think congratulations to the whole team who have put this together, because it looks absolutely wonderful tonight. I think they've done a really good job. Yeah, congratulations to them. Okay, let's see if we've got anything. Well, Magnus has gone for something a bit funky against Jakob Weyrauch. He's played the move rook to g1 in a mainline Sicilian. Now, when we're taught how to play openings, basically we say, get your pieces out and get castled. And then Magnus decides to move his rook that he uses to castle with to g1. What's that all about? Bit funky. Well, what he's trying to do, if we can look at the game with Jakob Weyrauch here, right at the bottom in the middle, what Magnus is doing with this move rook to g1, he's saying, I'm not interested in castling on the king side, but what I am interested in is using this g-pawn to launch it up the board and attack black, and I'm going to put my king on the queen side. A bit of a funky line chosen by Magnus there, but otherwise he's gone very mainstream. Now, I'm looking at this, and Magnus has actually got he's got a bunch of theoretical positions. The game against Denny Lawrence, Magnus will be very familiar with this position with white, because I believe his confidant, his countryman, good friend and teammate, Mr. Jon Ludvig Hammer. Who knows Jon Ludvig Hammer? One of the top players in Norway, number 2 player in Norway. Actually, I believe the story goes, Magnus will be able to help me here. He's busy concentrating.
I heard you said something, but...
Your game against Mr. Lawrence, where you've taken queens off on f6, this was a Jon Ludvig
yes, the way
eureka moment.
Absolutely. There is a game I played with Kramnik, which I won quite nicely, and it's all hammer.
You see? That's why he's world champion. It's not the only reason why he's world champion. Okay, so, wow. What have we got going on here? Where's the... Well, Quirine is playing brilliantly. Very, very good strategic game. Quirine playing, securing a square for her knight, if everybody knows the coordinates, on c5. Right there, that's a beautiful square for the knight in the king's Indian. Lucas Varga playing absolutely brilliantly as well at the moment. In terms of the clock times, it looks as though Magnus has got about 24 to 25 minutes on all of his boards. So he's doing, he's playing very quickly here. He's keeping up, keeping the pace. A lot of the participants here, of course, this is a dream come true for them to come and play Magnus. The app itself, you all know the Play Magnus app. Well, remember that at the moment there's also the training app, a new application available on iOS, soon to be available on Android. I believe it will be out beginning of next year on Android. So if you've got the Play Magnus app and you're playing on it and you're thinking, playing Magnus age 8, can't really get past him, needs some training, well, go over to the training app, train up, come back to the Play Magnus app, and before you know it, you'll be playing a next level of Magnus. And talking about levels with the app, it's my understanding that Magnus is, unfortunately, not getting any younger. He's going to be past it soon at the ripe old age of 27. When's your birthday, Magnus? About a few days, no? He's not listening.
Don't remind me about it.
30th of November, I'll remind him. 30th of November, and that means that a new age will be unlocked in the app. So Magnus at 27 years old will be ready on the day. Is that? Yeah. Wow, the team do such a good job. So on that day, get on your app at 12:01, so just that 1 minute pass and you can play the new Magnus at 27. I wonder how the Magnus at 27 will differ to the Magnus at 26. Difficult to say. Certainly the Magnus at 12 was different to the Magnus at 27. I remember seeing Magnus years and years ago. I actually met Magnus probably the first time when he was about 10 and I was a few years older at a European or World Championship. I was representing England, he was representing Norway. That was the first and only time I had a higher rating than Magnus. And I remember then he used to kind of carve his opponents up with brutal attacking displays and aggressiveness, but mellowed out as he got more mature. And now is, of course, renowned for his strategic genius. One of the most gifted players ever when it comes to just keeping the pressure on. Keeping the pressure on and slowly, slowly, slowly making his opponents crumble under the pressure. All right, let's get to the games. Well, we have serious action now. Now, Anne-Marie, she started off so well, but I can see now that she is lacking a few pieces, which is never ideal. So I think Anne-Marie is going to be in for a tough task. I can also see that Magnus is, if you look at his game against the young Arthur Kruger, we can see Magnus has put his rook lining up against the queen on the c-file, which is then lining up against the knight and lining up against the king. So what's the magic formula from when we have an open file? Who can tell me with rooks? Maybe one of the youngsters in the crowd. I would like a young guy to respond. What do rooks love? Who said? That young lady in the front here. Open files, Miss Kate Murphy. Let's give a round of applause for Kate, actually. She is the lady who is in charge of things at Play Magnus and has been, for me, the best signing they could have made. Look at how far the app has come, and she's just brilliant. So even Kate knows that rooks love open files. So that's what happens when you start working at a chess company. You learn loads of random things. Looking at these games, I would see some very intense positions. I'm amazingly impressed by Marco Bürde, who, since playing football, has never learned to sit down playing a game of chess. I don't know if he's waiting for a pawn to be passed to him or something.
My back.
His back hurts, excuse me, oh goodness. There we go. But Marco playing super solidly there, not letting Magnus break through. Magnus is kind of positioning his pieces to try and find a breakthrough, a pawn break in the center, c5 or d5, something like that. And we can see a nice shot there of all the opponents. Magnus has managed to get his pawn to g6 against Jakob Weihrauch. Now, I mentioned a bit before in this game that Magnus put his rook on g1 in order to launch that g-pawn up the board. Now, I didn't expect it to get all the way to g6, but what that's done, it's created a number of weaknesses in the black king position on the square e6, f5, f7, and so on. So strategically, this was a really good plan by Magnus against Jakob. I can also see that against Paul von Mühlendahl, the local Hamburger, I've tried that joke, it doesn't work here, all right? Magnus has managed to actually, it looks like, trap a bishop there on g6, so that's good news for him. And, well, against Mr. Denny Lawrence, extremely impressed by Denny's play so far. really keeping it solid, making Magnus work. And Magnus is getting going both against Lorenz Thiel and Arthur Krüger, starting to really bring out a bit of the old Magnus, throwing his pawns up the board and trying to checkmate the guy. That's what we like to see. And against Mr. Erlend Viborg, a representative, of course, of the Norwegian government, well, let's just say there might need to be a bailout package for that particular position as well, given that he's head of that department. We might need a bit of funding there to keep that one going for a few more years. Bit skeptical about that position. I like the move that Denny has just played, exchanging that very, very awkward knight for the bishop. A knight on f5 is worth a pawn. Remember that, guys. A knight on f5 is worth a pawn. Great square for the knight. And looking at the times, Magnus absolutely racing through here. I'm looking forward to the Play Live Challenge 2049 edition, where Magnus has to do this with a stick and, try and get round. See if he manages in half an hour then. If Magnus is still world champion in 2049, that will be a bit of a record. Does anybody know who the longest serving world champion was? Bit of a chess trivia question. Wow. Who shouted that out? Identify yourself. This chap over here, Lasker. Well done. Yes, Emanuel Lasker. Longest serving world champion. Do you know how many years? 37, was it? 37? 27. I'm being corrected by the chess historians. 27 years. Magnus, you got any ideas about beating Emanuel Lasker's world record as world champion? 27 years?
I'll try to win these games first, Lawrence.
One step at a time. Now, I'm not going to interrupt the players, apart from Magnus. They are concentrating very much on this. And I can see Magnus is also shoving his pawns up the board against Nikolai Nietzsche, but Nikolai holding strong here, castling queenside, like that move very, very much. Getting his king out of the way, getting it tucked away on the queenside, making it very nice and safe there. I'm super impressed by Marco. Super impressed. He's not the only famous footballer who loves chess, though. Another very famous one, who happens to be Norwegian, and it's not Magnus. Does anybody know who the most famous footballing chess player is? Norwegians in the crowd? Anybody know? Agderstein. Which one? No. One of them manages him, and the other one plays football, used to play football. Mr. Simon Agderstein, yes. Grandmaster, Magnus's ex-trainer, played for the Norwegian football team, even scored a goal against England, probably his only goal, actually, in professional football. So just because you play chess doesn't mean you can't be a good football player. That's what they told me anyway. Never worked out. Who we got? Oh, Magnus has decided to go on a hacking mission against Lorenz Thiel, ramming his h-pawn up the board. And I can see that he's starting to get into gear on most games. Anne-Marie is, let's just say, well, she's got a knight against a queen, 2 bishops and 2 rooks and a bunch of pawns. I'm trying to find an analogy for this. You know those hurricanes that rip through your house and leave you with just a pair of socks? That is about as close you can get to an analogy for that position. The good news for Anne-Marie is, as soon as this game is finished, she's going to firstly get to talk about the game with Magnus, and secondly, she can get revenge by going back on the app and beating Magnus at age 7 or 8 or 6, whatever she plays. She'll get instant revenge. Magnus, he's getting he's walking around quite fast. Many of you might know that Magnus also is not just gifted when he's looking at the board and playing various people, but can actually play blindfolded. Does anybody know that? Has anybody seen Magnus do that? Magnus, when was that, Magnus, when you went to Harvard?
2013, before the first World Championship match.
Before the first World Championship match, Magnus played a bunch of very strong players, I believe it was 10 of them, blindfolded at the same time.
They weren't that strong, actually.
They weren't that strong. They were his sponsors. Don't tell them that you just said that. It's all right. I say next year, actually, Kate, why don't we get him to do this blindfolded? I'll wheel him around in a shopping trolley, and he can move the pieces with a blindfold on. Would that work? Okay. Shopping trolley, Magnus? Any particular preference? Aldi, Kaufland, or no? We'll get you a Kaufland trolley, make it a bit more comfortable. Going back to the games, there's Magnus with this knight on f5 again, against Paul von Mühlendal. I'll try and do my best German pronunciation. And he has just, by the way, whipped this bishop out against Lucas Varga on the right there, bottom right at the top. Against Lucas, he has thrown his bishop out on h6 with a particular idea. Does anybody know what he's threatening? Who can tell me? What is Magnus threatening? We'll give Lucas a clue. Anything in particular against Lucas Varga? We're going to hope Lucas sees it. We're going to hope he sees it. I don't know about you. I think 30 minutes is too long, Kate, for Magnus. Why don't we give him 10 next year? For the whole, yes, for the whole 10 and blindfolded, yes. And something else, I don't know, like having a feather tickling his, feet while he, something, because he's playing very quickly. Look at this, he's got 25 minutes on one board, 20 on another, 22, 20. We were having dinner last night with Magnus, and Magnus decided to play some 1-minute chess in preparation for this. To be honest, could do a bit better. I think he needs to hone his 1-minute skills a bit more. Clearly helping him today, though. Anne-Marie is now left with just 1 sock. She had 2 before. Now she's got 1 sock. But she will fight to the death, which is what I like. I think the most interesting games that Magnus is going to have to deal with. Wow, actually, look at what he's just done against Lucas Varga. This is beautiful. Because everybody have a look at that game against Lucas. He's just played a queen sacrifice against the youngster Lucas Varga. Queen d6 out of the third field, left field. What is it? Left field, right? Left field. Sorry. I'm not up with my American sports kind of lingo. Queen d6, that's absolutely brilliant. What he's trying to do is distract the queen away from the defense of the rook on e8, because what would happen if the rook took the rook on e8? Anybody know? Matt. That is correct. Matt. I think they say Matt in Germany. I think they say Matt in Norway. Anywhere else? Austria, Switzerland, Slovakia, probably Russia, actually. In England, that's checkmate. And, okay, I love how Lucas is defending here. Lucas is defending. No, actually, no, he's not. I apologize. I hope I didn't get any Lucas Varga fans excited. Just checkmate in 2 moves. Never mind. Still, no games have finished yet. We're about 15 minutes in, no? Bit more? All right. Another fun fact is that Anne-Marie, who's still playing you wouldn't believe this is only her 3rd opponent that she's ever played over the board. Can you believe that? So she's basically played, I think, a friend, right, who taught her the wrong moves, a brother. So she's played her friend who taught her the wrong moves, so that doesn't really count. Her brother, that doesn't really count. So her first ever opponent over the board is the best player of all time. That's a bit like me sort of going out on a date with, my next door neighbor and then going straight to Heidi Klum, like directly. It's just really, basically the first ever player she's played is Magnus Carlsen over the board. If Heidi is in Hamburg, let me know. She's not married anymore, right? Kate, you know these things. All right. We've got a result, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed, it was checkmate. Big round of applause for Mr. Lucas Varga. That takes Magnus's toll to 37 wins, 0 losses in the Play Live Challenge. Is anybody going to get a result against Magnus this year? Marco. Oh, Marco. They just teach the Germans so well. I wish we had a system in England. Being an English football fan is one of the toughest jobs in the world. It really is. And not only that, not only are the Germans just superior at everything, they then produce chess players as well. I mean, can you imagine John Terry up here playing chess? Just crazy. I'm a Chelsea fan as well, which is, I can get away with that. We've got a second result. And finally, the final sock did go for Anne-Marie. She's been left with nothing. She's been checkmated, but round of applause for a great sport. All right. Well, I see some tough battles here. Rolf is playing fantastic. Trying to keep things together at the back there. An exchange down, but it's only material. Lawrence Tersking looks a bit, well, the Germans say Luft. What's the adjective for Luft, Pascal? Luftig? A bit luftig? Nackt. Luft. Nackt. Naked. Thank you. Pretty appropriate. We'll see if Lawrence manages to fend off any further attack. Also, Arthur, Kruger's king, looking a bit airy at the moment with that rook on the c-file I mentioned before. Put your rooks on those open files against the king because they shoot down and really cause damage. So against Arthur, looking a bit dubious. But certainly the game against Denny Lawrence I'm extremely excited about. Not because the position is exciting. Actually, this is the difference between me and Magnus. I love doing what Magnus did against, Anne-Marie and Lucas, going for the king. But these are the positions against Denny that Magnus goes to bed and dreams about. A nice positional advantage, no risk, slowly outplay him for 6 hours, come home, do the same again tomorrow. And he's been doing that for about 17 years now. Magnus, are you tired yet? Do you need a breather? Cup of tea?
I'm fine, but thanks for asking.
Okay. That is the next sort of aspiration I have, Magnus is tea boy. Any space on the team, Kate? Tea maker? Yeah, that space is already filled, okay. So the game against Denny is going to be really interesting, especially if Magnus manages to get a bit more short of time. Would love Denny to pick up the pace a bit here. Against Mr. Erland Viborg, well, yes. I think Erland is going to have to make the app. Maybe he can go to the Norwegian Parliament and make it a kind of obligatory usage in school to make sure that we don't put our kings in the middle there. Because that king is looking very, very exposed. Oof, don't like that one. And wow, look at that. Magnus against Nikolai Nietzsche. He's got an extra piece, and now he's got his rook and queen along what's called the 7th rank. And what we're taught is that rooks love to be on the 7th rank to really try and mow down. If you can imagine a lawnmower going across towards the king. If you look at that game with Nikolai Nietzsche, that's what it's like. Same goes for actually his game against Arthur Suderman. He's put 2 rooks on the 7th rank. So this is a great learning opportunity as well, guys. Look at how Magnus is playing. When you get your rooks on the 7th rank against the king, it's very, very dangerous. And I think Mr. Viborg has played a move that some of us in the business call illegal. I don't know how that's going to work with the DGT boards. Computers hate illegal moves. Hate them. They actually...
Bara hur inte.
Now, we're going to have to make sure that that can register. I think we're all right. Computers hate illegal moves. Lots of people hate illegal moves, illegal things. Magnus is most concerned about this game with Denny. Actually, it's the one he loves most, but is most concerned with. It's a bit of a weird thing going on there. And let's see what Quirine has just gone. I love Quirine. I love Quirine. Firstly, she's playing chess because she refused to go and buy some onions with her mum, which is like the first reason I love her. And the second reason I love her is because she's just like, Magnus Carlsen, I don't care. I'm just going to throw my pawns up the board and mate you. Look at what she's doing here. But she's playing in the style of the King's Indian. Perfectly. She has put her, look at what Quirine has done. She's thrown her G-pawn up the board against this king on, and look, Magnus is actually a bit worried. He's tucked his king in the corner here. I would love Quirine to win so much. Please win. Please checkmate him. Even Magnus would like it somewhere deep down to be checkmated here. What else is going on? Okay. Some of the other positions. Jakob doing really well. Where's Jakob? Where's Jakob? Fantastic. Jakob over here playing brilliantly. Just keeping Magnus working for that win. The time is ticking down. Magnus now approaching the 10-minute mark on a lot of his boards, so it's not going to be easy. If he's still got a good, let's say he's got a good 6 games going with 5 minutes left, we might be in for the first time ever where he's going to have to run between the boards, which will be certainly something I'll be enjoying. Okay, what else have we got? Marco is I'm actually going to, as many of you know who have been following me in the world of chess, I hang around these parts in Germany, Hamburg, Berlin. I might have to forego my support for the local teams and become a Werder Bremen supporter. Because if this is how good Marco can play, this is just unbelievable, what Marco is doing, playing unbelievably solid, and his last move is just perfect. He's taken the piece back with the pawn from g7 takes f6. And the reason why that's such a good move is because it covers the very important e5 square and doesn't allow the rook to penetrate down the d-file. So really classy strategic positional move by Marco, who has clearly understated his skill level. And we have 2 more results I can see. We have checkmate against Nikolai Nietzsche. Big round of applause for Nikolai for such a great performance. And I believe we also have a resignation from Jakob Weihrauch, the youngster. Well done, Jakob. You did a great job anyway. And we also have another result in a flurry of wins, it seems, against Mr. Arthur Kruger as well. Congratulations, Arthur. Did we get any more? No, I think that. So Magnus is now up 4 games, and that is soon going to be 5 because I can see that there is a checkmate looming. There is a checkmate looming. Who can see the checkmate? I think Magnus will get this one. Well, he's also, my goodness, against Paul, the local von Mühlendale, also looking a bit dubious. Come on, Quirine. Okay. Okay, we might be lacking a piece. We just carry on, Corinne. Come on. It's only a piece. And I believe we have another checkmate. Yes, against a very special guest, Erlen Viborg. Congratulations, Erlen. Unlucky. We now know that when you're in that next meeting talking about fiscal policy in Norway, you'll be on that up secretly under the table playing. And so that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got another game, actually. We've got another checkmate here. Arthur Zurdeman from his native country. Well done, Arthur, for a great performance. Unlucky. It's another checkmate. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Magnus is up 6. So that my maths is correct. No, we've got another one just here. What have I missed? Against Paul von Mullendal. So we've got now 7 victories, meaning there's 6 games left, and Magnus having, well, look at this, he's got just 3 minutes against Rolf Bjarne Finger from Norway. Rolf is going to put him to the test. Any Rolf fans here, I will take down Magnus to make him win. I'll rugby tackle him if you want me to. Taking it very seriously. And against Lawrence Teo as well, Magnus, well, with enough time there, it seems, to convert that one. And Marco Bode. Marco, brilliant move again. He takes d5. And, well, Magnus with a bit of a squeeze going on here, but still some work to do. And we've got another game finished. I believe Quirin has resigned. The noble thing to do. The noble thing to do. I think a big, big congratulations to her. She really went for it. She really went for it, which is something to be very proud of. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games to go. 5 more games. Are we going to see an upset here? Are we going to see an upset here? It's possible. Though Magnus is getting his kind of, well, interesting, very interesting game against Denny. That's the one to keep your eye out for, guys. Also against Marco, not making it easy at all. But Magnus doing what Magnus does, squeezing. Of course, guys, remember that Magnus is going to be busy in the next few weeks and months playing. He's shooting over to St. Louis in just a few days, actually. Tomorrow. A few days? Tomorrow. Shooting off to St. Louis to play in the Champion Showdown over there. So you'll be able to follow his games against the super talented Ding Liren from China, who very recently, if you are chess fans, the real chess fans in the crowd, maybe Magnus played game of the year, maybe of the decade?
Well, let's start with year. But still, it was extremely impressive.
He wants to get the job done. I would recommend that you all check out the game that Ding played against his countryman. I think his name is Bai from China. One of the most spectacular combinations in recent times. And Magnus will be playing him in St. Louis in just a few days. And then Magnus is going to be coming to my hometown, London, to play the London Chess Classic. All of these games will be broadcast on the major platforms that you see here today, helping us broadcast this great event, celebrating the game. And Lawrence is putting up great resistance, which I love. As is Denny, by the way. Though, okay. That last move might not have been the one, but okay. Carry on. Come on, Denny, keep it going. Rolf Bjarne as well. This is one of the most interesting games. Is Magnus going to actually be able to finish the job? Only 1 minute 57 left. It's going to be really tight. Really, really tight. He's staying there for the minute because he knows he's only got a bit of time left. And Rolf Bjarne with a lot of pawns there for the rook, but of course, a rook is a rook, so Magnus should be winning on paper there. Who's having a good evening? Isn't it wonderful to be here? Yeah? It's fantastic. Isn't it wonderful? Who loves chess? Put your hands up. Magnus, do you love chess? You can put your hand up there.
Yeah, occasionally.
Occasionally. It's different when it becomes your day job, right? It's a bit like anything else. You start playing chess on the daily and suddenly it becomes a bit more stressful. But the good news is we can all enjoy it, and we're all going to enjoy it because we've got the app to play. Now, I've played the app. Not going to say what...
No.
Oh, we've got a result. Oh, no, Marco just blundered a piece. That's unfortunate. But Marco, I mean, really, let's give him a round of applause. German legend. He played brilliantly. He played absolutely brilliantly. Was holding his own for most of the game. Congratulations. That means we've got 3 games to go, I think. 3 games to go, and the sad thing is they're not over the other sides of the room. They're all in the same district, which is unfortunate. Lawrence is keeping on going, but Lawrence is a rook down, which looks tough. Denny Lawrence. There's a lot of Lawrences here tonight. What is this? Lawrence Thieu, Denny Lawrence. I'm Lawrence. Any other Lawrences around? Never seen 3 Lawrences in a room before in Hamburg, I have to tell you. Denny is actually, I really like what he's just done somehow, actually. He's going to make Magnus work for that win. Rolf Bjarne as well. Well, not looking great. Not looking great. I feel like we are close to the end. Remember, guys, to get that Magnus Trainer app if you haven't got it already. And it's going to be available on Android at the beginning of next year. And don't forget, the new age will be unlocked very soon. 27-year-old Magnus. Will it, Kate, will it be that one with, you know, Magnus a few weeks ago with his hair out here and that? Is that how you've got the design? Two potential options for how he's going to look. I like to, Magnus, what was the idea behind that look with the big hair? Were you just showing off that you've got a full head of hair?
No, I was going to get a man bun, but it didn't happen. So
you were going to get it?
I was going to get a man bun.
A man bun?
Yes.
I promise you, he is the only world champion in history that knows what a man bun is. That's how far we've come in chess, guys. Magnus Carlsen knows what a man bun is. I also would like to wear a man bun. Anybody who would like to donate, please send me an email. It would be great. Could put on one of those fake ones, actually. Would work. Sorry? We've got a result. Yes, we've got another result. Lawrence is toast. Did you resign, Lawrence? Yeah, it just hasn't come up. Okay, congratulations to him. Meaning, is it just 2 left?
Yes.
We've just got 2 left. These 2 here. Magnus with only 50 seconds against Rolf. He's going to have to checkmate him. Very, very close. Rolf has to play on. Yes, Rolf. 47. Let's see if Magnus can finish him off. Denny, absolutely valiant performance today. But that pawn ending is looking... Thank you. Oh, Denny is actually lost on time. Wow. Congratulations, which means we are down to our last game. And Magnus, a rook up. He's got that smirk on his face, the same smirk I saw him with 4 years ago around this time when he played Vishy Anand in the final game. where he found a beautiful combination to force a draw and become world champion, defended his title 3 times, and will be defending it again at the end of next year, 2018, in London. We don't know who he'll play yet. Probably... Oh, we've got an illegal move. Okay, we'll continue. We're going to play right to the end here. Magnus with an extra rook. Oh. 36 seconds. Magnus taunting and teasing here. I think I want to also take this opportunity. I mentioned Kate Murphy before, but would like to take this opportunity to mention the other people as well in Magnus's team, all of Magnus's team who work so well together. Arne, who's lurking in the back there, I can see him. Thanks for, putting this on, and everybody else, Michelle, and just brilliant. Magnus, you're close here. You're close. 22. 20. Ooh. And checkmate on the next move. He's done it. He has done it. Magnus Carlsen. Now, what we're going to do is, are we going to get a one-on-one now with each player? That's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have another very special moment for these players, who they're going to have a very quick chat, very, very quick, with Magnus about their game, where maybe they could have improved, what was the critical moment. So we're going to learn from the world champion. And then we're going to get a big photo, and we're all going to enjoy this together. So we'll bring up, actually, star of the show, Rolf Bjarnok-Finger, who was the last man to finish and the first man who called up. Rolf, welcome. Let's very quickly talk about your game with Magnus. This is where I shut up, so you're really going to be happy. So Magnus doesn't actually need for us to bring the board up. Magnus has got a memory that I envy, and will remember this game pretty much from the start. Is that right, Magnus?
Yeah, I think I moved around a bit in the middle game, so I'm not sure I remember exactly all the games, all the moves, but I think I can reconstruct it.
Okay, let's go through this really quickly then.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we'll get through the opening stage. Opening stage was very, very well known.
Just make sure they face the photographer and get a photo.
With the chess.
Yeah. I think this is like a theoretical position, but without my rook on e1. Maybe I did play rook e1 here. But anyway, yeah, I think the problem is this bishop is a little bit misplaced somehow. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but the thing is, it might be a bit weak on the queen side without it. So, I mean, you really need to get something going against the center, and let's compare it to some bishop c5 lines in the Spanish. Then the bishop will be here, and you have more attacking power in the center, and also it frees up the e file. So it's quite solid, but it feels a bit passive. And then, yeah, I would recommend to try and get this bishop here. I don't know, what happened? Did I play a4 here?
Rolf, where did you start to feel like it was going a bit wrong for you around this moment, or a bit? It feels okay here for you.
When he started coming with the pawns on the queen side.
Yeah, I mean this rook b8, right? Queen c2. No, I didn't do this yet. I think at this point this is not so good because I can go with the knight here, and this is protected, and well, I get to trade off the bishop. So I think b4 happened, and then, but maybe b4 here. Maybe this position is a bit difficult. Like here, okay, if I take with the pawn, you get this square for the knight, but once I take with the knight, the bishop is coming here, and it's not so great. Maybe you should play something like knight d8 here, just to protect this particular square, and then try to get the bishop here. Yeah, I can still do this. Queen goes back. I still have knight c6, so c6. Yeah, the knight comes here. Yeah, it's
already looking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very pleasant.
Okay, and then yeah, a bit later on.
Yeah, no. After this is obviously the move you want to play, but maybe you needed to bring the bishop around here. I don't know.
That's a nice idea.
Unless I had already played the rook here, which I don't think I have. So, but still, yeah, with the center, I'm a bit better. But the game goes on.
All right, and then I think a bit after the material was.
Yeah, no, I mean after
once the material
after this,
yes.
it's a question of time, obviously.
How did you find the experience, Rolf, today?
Very exciting.
Yeah?
Exciting. Yes.
Glad you came?
Yes, of course.
Brilliant. Well, look, I think he played brilliantly. The last guy to finish, Rolf from Norway. Congratulations. Thanks for coming. We're going to take a photo. Okay, we'll get Rolf back to his seat and we'll bring up Denny. Well done, Denny. Denny Lawrence from Germany. Give him a round of applause. Come on. For me, Denny played some of the best chess today. Denny, how do you feel the game went today?
Not really good. The opening was a bit bad for me, and the end game very tough. So,
but you really held. You were giving him some problems to convert in the time.
Yeah, but it was very tough. So
you're not the first person to say that. Don't worry. Maybe we can fast forward past the opening and go to a really relevant point.
Because I mean earlier let's just look at this position where I think my king is still here, pawn here. This where you played c5. Bishop here, rook, rook. Like this, and bishop here, right? So I think this, although you get to exchange a lot of pieces, it's just a bit too weakening, because even though there are opposite color bishops, both this pawn and this pawn, let's say like this. Yeah, you don't have to lose this pawn, obviously, but yes, I'm not going to allow you to go knight a6 to b4. Basically, if you cannot exchange these knights, then it's not so much of a factor that there are opposite color bishops, and I'm threatening to, eventually get some setup where I'm attacking both this d5 and maybe bringing the king around. There's really not so much you can do actively. Maybe it's possible to hold, but it's inconvenient. So I mean I thought it wasn't so bad for you earlier on, like here. So I want to do this, obviously. Maybe earlier on you could have moved this rook somewhere so that you have possibility of bringing the knight via this c7 square. But yeah, I mean, when you play this opening, it's not going to be so much fun always. So if you wanna win, you should play something else. But if you want to make a droid, it's not bad because this pawn is weak, but it won't be a factor for a long time. It's very hard to attack, and it's still protecting some square, even though it gives some up as well. So, but you have to reckon with long maneuvering, and if you don't like it, you should play something else. But I thought you played very well for a long while in the maneuvering game. So I'm very impressed. Thank you.
Well done. Well, you heard it there, Denny. Magnus, very impressed. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah, I feel great. Well done. You played a really good game. You should be really proud. Okay, let's go for a photo. Okay, we'll get Denny back to his seat. And now, one of my favorite competitors, Quirine, is going to come up. Quirine. Now, for all of you who have been following attentively, I would have told you all, Quirine really went for it, okay? And now we're going to hear what Magnus has to say. Quirine, an avid player, plays in tournaments, plays in one of Magnus's favorite places, Wijk aan Zee, in the Netherlands. And let's hear what Magnus has to say about this
look at the first
game. So they're going to fast forward. Magnus, were you surprised at how aggressive Quirine was today?
Yeah, especially with the move knight bd7, because normally you play e5, but then maybe you didn't want to exchange queens, or I don't know. But anyway, I think what was instructive about this, I'm not so sure about this move, because you're creating a target for me to advance the pawns later on, and even if you get the bishop developed here, then I will move the pawn forward and sort of shut it out of the game. So what happened here, like this, knight to d2, knight to e8, a3, f5, f3, g. I think, no, this one first. Maybe you should go with the pawn first so that you don't give me the time to play c5 immediately. Anyway, like this. What is important here is that I have this move. And normally in the King's Indian, you will go with the knight here, then the knight here, the knight ends up here. So I cannot block it. And also it gives you another piece participating in the attack. While here, the knight performs some defensive duties, but essentially you need to play for an attack, because this cannot be held for a long time anyway. And once I get the bishop here, it's very difficult for you to create any sort of attack, because you need lots of moves to remove this, and unless you get to remove it, there are just no entry points at all. And after that, the position is by no means lost, but my game is really easy. Knight is coming, rook is coming into the file, and it's much more difficult to find good ideas for black.
And Quirine, were you, so what was your, clearly you had decided before this game, I'm just going to crush him, right? What was your kind of thinking going into this game?
I didn't want to be like full defense, so I kind of wanted to play forward and not backwards.
I love it. I think actually you would be a good coach for some of Magnus's opponents who seem to fall into this trap of being a bit too defensive against him. But I think you played just really well. I know it didn't turn out like you hoped, but a really valiant effort. So I think a big round of applause. Really went for it, Quirine, today. Well done. Absolutely brilliant. Went for his... Okay. Now, we're going to bring up Lawrence from Singapore. Lawrence coming. The man who eats, sleeps, breathes chess. Didn't win against Magnus today, but let's see what Magnus has to say about their game.
Yeah. I think this move is unnecessary, because you want to advance the pawn here. Yeah, you can go here, or you can play c5, or you can play knight c6. My setup is not, with the pawn here, is not very aggressive, so it gives you a lot of freedom. But obviously, this is by no means bad, and you got a very solid position later on. So you played knight first, yes, and then bishop, or castle, yeah, this c4, b6, or you play rook e8 first. I don't remember. This, yeah. But anyway, the problem is that it is a little bit passive, and you really need to get the queenside pawns running to sort of give some counterplay, because I have a very nice outpost in the center with this pawn, and so I have a plan of attacking here and also eventually maybe in the center. So you need something to counteract that. So I thought this plan of b6, c5 was good, but maybe once my pawn gets here, you should put the pawn here just to avoid me weakening your king side, because eventually the king's side was very weak and it was hard to avoid material losses. Yeah, you can. I can do it, but you have many pieces in defense, so it's not necessarily that dangerous. But you're right, it's a good plan.
Lawrence, you came here from a long way. Was it worth the trip? Are you happy you came?
Yes, I'm happy. Yeah, I just get to play the World Champion, so yeah.
Yeah, not a bad trip, huh? And you played really well. I mean, I think everybody played really well, so you should be very proud. And keep on playing that app, and thanks for coming.
Okay, no problem.
Photo. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And now we've got one of our youngest, if not the youngest, competitor. Arthur, come. Arthur Kruger from Germany. Only 9 years old, I believe. You're 9, right, Arthur? 9, I think so. Okay, so maybe we can talk about this one.
Okay.
Also playing in the style of Garry Kasparov back in the day.
Yes, no, I think you played knight. Bishop e7. No, bishop. This.
I love that Arthur correcting Magnus. No. This way.
But I think in this opening, the king is safer on this side. So it was a very nice idea to
I love this.
To go for this, but I think the king is just too exposed. But here, this, maybe you should go with the queen here instead, because once you go here, I get the pawn, and then the queen is in big trouble. So maybe like this, and yeah, I'm a pawn up. We have a game. Maybe I would go for this, and then if you take, I take, and there's a pin, and I'm threatening. But it's still a game, and we can play for a long time. But I'm very impressed by the fact that you used all your time, the half an hour. Lots of kids at your age don't know how to use their time. So I think it's a very good sign, and I hope you continue to do that for many years.
Well, I think should give a handshake to Magnus for that. That's brilliant. Arthur. Fantastic, Arthur. Well done. Well done. Sehr gut. That's the extent of my German. It's really bad. Sehr gut, Arthur. And look at that, setting up the pieces. Another round of applause, I think, for Arthur. I mean, look at the example he's setting here. Brilliant. Next up, we've got a Norwegian minister, Erlend Viborg. Erlend, come up. Now, Erlend broke the computer by playing an illegal move. Let's hear. Before we start the game, Erlend, was it worth missing your meetings today for this match, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, Magnus, in English, please.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm not sure about this move.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I shouldn't talk so much in general terms because I actually sort of play a variation on the opening myself, which is to play this pawn and then this pawn forward. But you should do it in the other order. Yeah, this and then this, because here I get to exchange the central pawn for a not so central pawn, and I also get the square here. And right here, I think you need to take with the knight because this just takes too much time with the queen. So take with the knight, then you put the pawn forward, and it's not that bad. I can never do this, and you know, you go bishop out, castles, and then we got ourselves a game. Anyway, this bishop out. Here it's already a very difficult position, I think.
It's impossible to come out of it.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. So maybe this was the last chance to just put the pawn here, bishop out, castle, and then think about the future. But anyway, you live and you learn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Erlend. Well done. We're going to have a little photo, but before we do, some thoughts on, are you going to, because we know chess is so big in Norway now, thanks to Magnus. Perhaps you can talk just very quickly about, are there initiatives in the government for chess in schools and chess amongst you? Maybe you can say something quickly.
Yeah, some of us are working for that, to get more chess in schools, so hopefully we will succeed.
Brilliant. Okay, well look, big movement in Norway thanks to Magnus and thanks to support from people like Erlend, so big round of applause. Okay, next we have Nikolai. Nikolai Nietzsche, very young player. Nikolai, sehr gut. Have a seat. Kein English, das ist gut, kein Problem. How's your German, Magnus?
A little bit.
Ein bisschen? Okay. So maybe we can just do very, very simple words for Nikolai. His English is improving. Obviously, he out-prepared you here, Magnus, in the opening. Queen b6? Yeah,
Very
this is the old line, right?
Aber dieser Zug ist vielleicht so passiv. Der Springer offen.
Right, I'm going. See you later. Bye-bye. He does German as well.
Ich habe gute Kontrolle über das Center und es ist nicht so leicht Gegenspiel zu finden. Oder this first maybe? Yeah.
Läufer?
I think this.
Läufer b7, oder? Ja.
Ja, vielleicht G6. Dieser Angriff ist sehr gefährlich. So G6 und dann. Es ist der richtige Plan, aber diese Zug erstmal. Vielleicht hier, spiele ich hier. Dann nicht so einfach für Weiß hier.
Ja. Nikolai, sehr gut. Sehr gut. Einmal Foto. Brilliant, Nikolai. Thank you. Dankeschön. We'll wait for that. And then one of my favorite competitors today, her first over-the-board player, come Anne-Marie Obernar from Austria. Plays her first real serious game against Magnus Carlsen over the board. Not bad. Not bad. So, this was an interesting one.
Yeah, I think the main lesson to be learned here is just to recapture whatever pieces I take. So I saw there were several instances where I captured a piece, and I don't know if you were afraid of some hidden point or anything. But like in this case, well, this move is not great, but it's not that bad either. Like this. But here you really need to take my bishop. There is no hidden agenda or anything. Just take it and then think.
That's a good lesson. Take it and then think, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then you have actually a very concrete plan, which is to put this pawn, the bishop here, and play for checkmate. And I will have to put the pawn here, but maybe then you can push your pawn forward and attack, and the game might get really murky, actually. So I mean, I'm an exchange up, but I wasn't extremely, confident at this point, and but of course, after I got to retain the bishop, I was a lot happier. And then, and then when you're a rook down after 10 moves, it's hard to recover. After that there isn't so much to talk about. But anyway, for a first game, it's not so bad. So
now, Anne-Marie, for your first over-the-board game, I have to say that was brilliant. Was it right that when you got the email about this, that you thought it was, no, this can't be true? It was some kind of spam email, and you couldn't believe you were coming? Tell us the story a bit.
I was actually on vacation in Spain at the time with my family, with my daughter, and we were at dinner the first evening, and I got my phone, and I was checking Facebook and stuff. And there was the video, actually, that announced the winners. And, I was second name to be announced. And I was just hysterical. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And the first reaction of my sister was, this is a scam for sure. This can't be true. Why you?
Well, you're here because you are one of the most active users. You love the app, you use it a lot, you deserve to be here. And I think, given this is your first game, you should be very proud. So I hope you enjoyed the experience.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. Let's have a photo. And I keep on speaking into this mic, I don't know. All right, well done, Anne-Marie. And now a legend of German sport and now German chess, Marco Buda is coming. Now, I don't know if Marco can sit, or whether you want to stand up and do this. Sorry? You want to stand and do this? Or you can sit this time, okay. Just trying to intimidate Magnus. I think Marco's game just before they start was really good.
This castles. Or c6 first, I think. Yes. c6 first, b3 castles, bishop b2. No. Okay. This, then knight d7. I don't remember exact move order, but it all leads to the same position, sort of. Rook c8, rook c1. No, I played e4. I have to say this was a massively frustrating game for me because I thought I had such a nice position with the center and everything, and what I am in general trying to do in this line is to push the pawn forward and then blocking your bishop before you can play c5 and free it, but it was very hard to find, at least in the time constraints, to find a good plan. So this, eventually, you move the rook. I think you moved the rook a couple. The rook, and then this, and rook again. And I couldn't find anything better than to take. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, you're going for this next, so I took, and maybe here you actually had the chance to take and play c5. Maybe it might look a bit dangerous like this, and I got two bishops. But still, you have some pressure against.
Got some pressure against the queen here.
Yeah, bishop back, protecting here and opening. Yeah, it's not so clear.
How were you feeling around this point, Marco?
Well, generally, I thought it was like playing against Bayern Munich and Real Madrid at the same time. So you feel okay for a while, but at the end, there's no chance.
That's a nice analogy. I would say, actually, that you underestimate.
I think I was... normally, I play more active, but I think my strategy was trying to keep it complicated a little bit, keep it closed. Maybe that was... not good at the end, but for a while it was okay.
I thought you fought really well. I think it was very difficult for Magnus.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't really have anything much until. But I think this was an important moment, right? Right here. So you have the rooks here, and I just taken. So bishop is here, I think. You have the knight here, pawn here, and I have a bishop here. So this, I think you should take this one probably, because it's with this knight here, which looks very nice. But you can always just take the. You can always. Not at this time, but the thing is, it's not so easy to advance because, and in the worst case, maybe at some point you can even take this, and you got some pawns running too, and of course with this move you avoid all these things, but the squares around the king starts to become very. Then my pawns are coming, and it's very hard, and I mean right at the end. Here as well, you're still alive, but it's very, very difficult by now. Maybe you have to put the bishop here or something just to avoid me taking.
As we are coming towards the final boards, Lucas,
You played with
come and join us.
Dustin,
Lucas
right?
Vargas.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
He's a very good friend, one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Still today.
Yeah.
If you ever would like to come to Bremen and watch a match,
Well, thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
There we go, an invitation to watch Werder Bremen. Brilliant.
Oops.
Here we have Lucas Varga. And Lucas had a difficult game today. Have a quick look at it.
Knight c6. Yes. Knight e7, so I go bishop e3, not to. But I think normal way to play is like this, and then queen d7, and then bishop f5. Because when you get the queen here, this bishop is very hard to oppose. A little bit better for white, but it's very solid. So here. Yeah, this is probably good. Knight here, rook e1, right? Yes, c6. Okay, I went a4. Maybe it now takes. The bishop a3 is possible. Yeah, this. I thought maybe you should go with the knight here, because my queen is very active right here. And then if I do something like this, maybe you can play f6 and protect against the threat. And although my position is active, maybe it's not the end of the world. But after this, I think it's very difficult position.
Yeah, the lack of the dark
and now,
squared
yeah,
control is.
rook e8 is just yeah. Now it's just mate. Maybe you can try this move. If takes this rook e8, maybe it's still defensible. So I should maybe do something else like bishop f4, bishop h6, or h4 with initiative, but nothing decisive.
Okay, and Lucas, how did you find the game?
Oh, that was difficult.
Very difficult. Well, look, I think you played really well, and it was a difficult game. But well, you'll learn from this. So well done, and yeah, round of applause for Lucas as well, please. Okay, the photos. And then our final three games, we've got Paul von Mühlendahl from Hamburg. Big round of applause, the local guy here from Hamburg, Paul von Mühlendahl. Now this one I remember was a very difficult game. Let's see.
Yeah, I have to say I was impressed that you made this move, because that's the main line at the moment. I'm not sure you know, but it's the main line.
No, of course I didn't know.
At the top level, the point is if you go like this, and you can play c6, and if this, the queen might be trapped. So okay, I just went like this. Castles, bishop e7. I'm not sure exactly how you should play. Maybe you should play some other way with knight b6, knight c6, queen d7, and long castling. Because in this way I get an initiative very quickly. It's an interesting position. I'm just trying to think. Obviously, this is no good because since I just trapped the bishop. Maybe you can still play the knight here. Bishop goes, maybe c5. I don't know. I mean, still, I think white is a good position, but it's far from clear. But clearly, after you lose the piece, it's very, very difficult to resist. You need to get some kind of blockade in the center, and then maybe eventually start to attack this one. But it's always going to be an uphill battle from here.
Well, Paul, you're from Hamburg. Where exactly are you living in Hamburg?
St. Pauli.
In St. Pauli. Any St. Pauli fans out there in the crowd? Hey, photographer. St. Pauli. Today was it was a difficult game, especially after this. But are you glad you came all the way from St. Pauli? A good old 5-minute walk. Not bad.
Yeah, I'm glad I came. I think today it was better, but...
But tomorrow is another day. All right, Paul, well, thank you very much for coming. Let's take a photo and...
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Jakob Weihrauch. Jakob, sprechen Sie English? Nein. Ein bisschen? Yeah, okay. So you can do German or English here, Magnus.
English? English, yeah. I think I'm done with German for a long time. Okay. This is an old move. It was used by Ivanchuk against Kasparov once in a rapid game. That's how I know it, at least. And the point is, of course, to push this forward. This, I think, is normal. But here, I think it's possible to play this one. Because I'm not in time to protect it, and it should be good for black. Either way, this is fine as well. This, maybe I should have played this immediately, because maybe now you can play this, and I'm not sure this is this pawn is strong or weak. But okay, knight c6, g6, f6. Yeah, maybe f5. But anyway, you have some problems here. This knight c5. Knight c5 was good. I like that move. And maybe this move was inaccurate. Maybe it was not so. Maybe I should play c3 instead. Because here, yeah, you got this queen b6, which is quite annoying to meet. Because if I spend some time to protect this pawn, then you go castle. And I don't know what to do. So if check. So this, I just did not see this, to be honest. But here, this is no good, no good, no good. Since without the queens, I have very easy play. You know, rook comes here, so maybe queen here or something. I would still try to exchange queens, and I mean, I still have more than enough compensation for a pawn, but we. Yeah, but we certainly have a game here. But after this, yeah, but it was not so easy to yeah. Now it's very difficult. I think also maybe here this is better, and then bishop here, and okay, you can fight for a long time.
Well,
but anyway, I mean, very well played. So hopefully we'll be even stronger next time.
Sehr gut gespielt. Yes, Jakob. Einmal Foto. Einmal Foto. Yep. Okay, well done, Jakob. And now our last opponent, Arte Andre Söderman from Norway. Arte's wife, soon having to watch football again. She's got another 10 minutes before it goes back on. Arte played chess today. It was a difficult game for Arte, but let's see what Magnus has to say.
So I think you need to spend a bit more time in the opening, because after I get this pawn, it's very hard to do. So the normal thing here would be to advance, then I go with the knight here, then you push the pawn, and well, it's a very complicated game. The problem here is not only do you lose a pawn, but you also lose a lot of potential squares in the center. Like after this, I own both the pawn, I mean both the square that the pawn was on and this one as well. So it becomes very difficult. Like I don't remember exactly what happened. Like castles, bishop here. Bishop here, right? Or I think it was up here. Up here, yeah. Castles, d5 takes, d4, knight c6, bishop g7. But anyway, here I have a very easy game. Pawn up, weak pawn, and it's very difficult for you to attack any points in my position. Sometimes, yeah, when you play quickly in the opening and you lose something and you try to look for ways to redeem yourself, and it's not so easy already. So that would be my recommendation, just to take a bit more time to think in the opening next time, just to make sure you get a good position that you can battle with in the middle game. I think you fought well after this. There wasn't any particular moment where I think it was any easy improvements or anything, since my play was really simple: knight here, attacking the pawns. But anyway, thanks.
Okay, well that's going to nearly wrap things up. What we're going to do now is Magnus is actually going to present a board each to all of the opponents. This is, of course, part of the Play Magnus brand. You can all buy one of these boards. Let me rephrase that. You are all going to buy one of these boards. And Magnus, signed by Magnus. So come and take your boards, guys. Firstly, we have Rolf. Yeah. Well done, there's your present.
Yes.
Handshake. Yes, Danny, come and get your board. Or he can go round, even better. Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Signed board by Magnus.
Okay.
After this, we'll have a quick photo, I believe, with all the participants, and that will wrap things up. I do want to thank, once again, all of the sponsors that have been here. Die Zeit, of course, this lovely hotel. We've got ChessBase, chess.com, Iska Water. The team, of course, the whole Play Magnus crew. I want to thank everybody here as well for coming. So a round of applause for you guys and staying. Been excellent. And a big thank you to everybody online who has been watching. Remember to check out all of the latest updates with Play Magnus. Follow them on the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, everything else that we've got nowadays. And remember, we love this game, and I'm going to hand it back to Kate to wrap things up.
Actually, I was to thank you, Lauren.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank you.
Also, a huge thank you to our team at Play Magnus. You guys are amazing. Arna, Michelle, Arcus, everyone back at home, and of course, Magnus. Thank you so much.
Big thank you to Magnus for doing this. Absolutely brilliant. Yep. Okay. So group photo, guys, and we're going to the green room. So I think, yes, we can all have you guys come and follow Kate out this door. Thank you once again, guys. Until the next time. Been absolutely brilliant. Thank you. I don't...
Having a ChessBase account gives you access to the complete ChessBase media system, which includes hundreds of training videos, tournament reports, and much more from top authors. With the ChessBase media system, you can stop the videos at any time to enter your own moves and analyze the resulting positions, or download the notation as a PGN. You can also benefit from one of the best features previously only available on our DVDs, interactive video training. You have to answer training questions, and depending on your solution, you'll receive different feedback and tips from the author. The Live database is the fastest chess database in the world, with online access to 8 million games. Lightning fast database architecture returns search results for players or positions in a matter of milliseconds. Thanks to weekly updates of approximately 5,000 games, the database is always up to date. On top of that, the app is linked to the ChessBase Livebook, the most complete and actively updated source of opening theory available online. Livebook doesn't just include theory as it's currently played, but also shows the latest analytical trends. What's more, it shows the strong players who've actually played a particular variation, and you can start Fritz in your browser to run your own analysis from any given position. It also offers integrated repertoire management for your own openings, and makes it easy to add moves to your repertoire. Moves that are then immediately available in our other web-based apps. The Live database also comes with Let's Check, featuring over 200 million deeply analysed positions. The ChessBase Openings app makes it easy to manage, review and learn your openings repertoire with just a few clicks. The integrated Livebook has all the information you need at a glance, including the latest games, moves, statistics, players, successes, and fashionable variations. Selecting the right move has never been easier. You can practice learning your own repertoire in training games against the app. The program will keep testing you on the variations you haven't yet memorized. It's perfect for your smartphone. You can test your knowledge of your own repertoire even when you're on the move. Tactics training is fun and is a great way to improve your playing strength. The ChessBase Tactics app comprises 50,000 positions, ranging from very simple to very difficult, suitable for a beginner, but also a world champion. Your playing strength is calculated based on your solutions, and after an initial calibration period, you're shown puzzles from within your own ability range, enabling you to improve your level step by step with tailored exercises. If you get stuck, intelligent tips will help you, and after every position, you can play through the solution in your own time and look at alternatives with the integrated Fritz engine. With the My Games cloud, you have your games with you at all times, and you can rest assured that they're always safely backed up. The app provides you with the tools to manage your games however you choose. You can create or delete databases, copy games to other databases, save, edit, and annotate your games, and access the strong integrated chess engine for your own analysis. What's more, all your games from playchess.com are automatically saved to a dedicated file. You can also open and manage your opening repertoire on the move, and Livebook is available here too. "20,000 unique users log on to playchess.com every day to play chess online in real time. It takes just a few seconds after seeking an opponent for battle to begin. You can also watch live games between the best players on the site at the click of a button. Playchess also provides access to live broadcasts from all the important Grandmaster tournaments, complete with expert commentary. Events can be watched in our multi-board interface, which can feature up to 9 ultra-sharp boards, even on small smartphone displays. You can also switch on ChessBase's signature engine, Fritz, to provide analysis during games. You can also use playchess.com as the server for your own club. Access exclusive closed playing rooms from a link on your club homepage.